they are capable more enough to represent their issues, and it will give them space to engage about their issues, and hopefully Mayor will be able to resolve or respond to many of their challenges. Asbong.
Thank you, councillors, for that welcome. We appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I indicated, it's your public meeting. We want to have this engagement, so I'm going to take a few hands. So, if I could start on my left-hand side, we'll take 5 on my left-hand side and 5 on my right-hand side. I'll give you particular numbers, and then please remember that number, and we'll call you up to pose your question. So also, ladies and gentlemen, we know English is not the only language. We've got 11 official languages, and we want everyone to speak in the vernacular of your choice so that we're comfortable in this meeting. So can I take the first 5 on my left-hand side? If you can just raise your hand. Or can I start here? This side. I think the lady at the back there, number 1. Yo, that's a loud one. You number 1, Mayor. Number 2. 3 at the back there. Anyone else there? Okay, there's just 3 hands on this side that I see. Let's go on this side, Mayor. You, number 1, number 2, number 3 at the back there. So we got 3 on this side. I don't see any other hands so far. So let's take the 3 that we've identified here. Please come forward so we can then, you can raise your question. Is there a roving mic?
Oh, Dumelang kaofela.
Starting here.
My name is Lucia Sinyan. It looks like this thing of yours is not working. I don't know whether is it a sabotage or whatever. I was expecting that Mayor, Council, and your committee, you'll draw up the issues that we are going to talk about. Because we cannot be having a meeting where haphazardly so. We must have issues. What are we going to talk about? Because here in Naturena, we are suffering. We have been outside. We don't have anyone otameling arishebe who dimashlo. So burning issues tarona, ki city parks. Ki city power ka 4.8 billion, they must explain where is that money going to. Rebata utseba ka chen. Ki city power, ki city parks, ki Joburg Court, ki JRA. I hope they hear all of them. Before ke tsamaya ke lo dula mo lefatshe, ke batla o raise issue ya hore Comrade Dada and Councillor Zondo, you failed us. We never had this public meeting unless from your office, no one have come. And Comrade Dada, Comrade Late Makubo, Comrade, all these mayors, they know our problems here in Naturena. But no one have tried to solve our problems. We never had a public meeting. It's now 2 years until we force. That's when the council and the mayor will stand up and come and address us.
Thank you. Number 2. Number 2. Can we get the numbers that we've identified? Can you stand on the left-hand side of me? Then at least we don't have to. Can the others please join that I've identified? Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Sanbonan Batlali. Sigcinane last year. Yo, that's very bad. That's how bad the situation is here in our area. Let me appreciate and welcome the Mayor of City of Johannesburg and your executive. You are here addressing or engaging a frustrated community, frustrated and angry because of the absence of leadership on matters that relates, 1, to service delivery and governance. The former speaker indicated our history, Mayor. And I'm not going to be that long, but because of the opportunity of engagement, I would request that I be allowed to engage you. And the other speakers will say whatever they want to say, because I know that this community is very conscientized around issues that affects them. They are jealous about their area. Naturena is not an informal settlement. Naturena is a semi-suburb. That's why you even went as far as rating these houses more than 1 million without our consent. We are frustrated. One, myself and you, Mayor, we marched in Deep Kloof against the issue of electricity in Eskom. It was during when we were the secretary and during the mayorship of Comrade, I think it was Comrade Jeff Makubo, where yourselves agreed that it was high time that we must fight for flat rate because of the challenges of our people. People are not working. People are under stress because of the social challenges that they are faced with. We agreed in principle that one thing that is going to assist our people is if we were to go for a flat rate and slowly introduce our people in paying their services, understanding their frustration. Here in Naturena, we have a backlog and a historical debt. All the mayors before you, even worst of all, the city council took a resolution to scrap off these historic debts. What you did, the city encouraged our community to go for ESP. What a program. But here are these old ladies here. Ask them if that ESP is working for them. Ask them if they see any benefit out of the ESP. Our people are more frustrated because there's nothing that is beneficial out of that program of the ESP. Worse, their debt still remains. What is it? How do you owe 800,000? Today, our people are being chased by lawyers that we don't know who they are coming from. Because you have sold your book to lawyers to chase us. We even said to yourself, this thing of contractors that you are bringing to come and cut off electricity is not going to assist us. If we and yourself agree in terms of an amount that is agreed upon, you don't have even to collect it. We'll collect it on your behalf because our people are saying they want to pay. But the billing system that the city is using is not right. When we dealt with the situation of the electricity, when meters were introduced, we thought then our issues are dealt with. Then we are heated on the water. How do you justify more than 3,000 of monthly payments of water? When these people go to Juresin, in actual fact, Sihambile Juresin, if you remember. Sihambile Katele. Before it's a very original one. Before Tuso. When you go there, Comrade Mayor, you are told that the billing system is not the problem, but the problem is your yard. There is leakage of water somewhere in your yard. Then you must go and get a contractor that must come and investigate this leakage that is costing more than 20,000 to 4,000. That is one frustration which these people are sitting with. Mayor, it was strategic for us to say, as long as an hour after 5, because we want you, when you live here, it must be dark. And you must tell us, Guti, if this was your place of stay, your residence, whether you'll be proud to drive around so many potholes in the dark. So many potholes in the dark. Naturena is almost more than 20 years old. And these roads are still the old roads. Kanti, when are we going to get the retired road? When we know these roads are Zakdala. The third one, Comrade Mayor, is the infrastructure here in terms of water. The infrastructure of water is not right. We have been requesting some of these people, when they open their tap, the water is black. is brown. We are raising this thing to say, this is a frustration that our people is facing. Mayor, in Naturena, for you to acquire service, just basic service, whether it's lino or this flu, you must pay. We don't have recreational facility. There is no soccer ground. Naturena, you know you used to wish to play, to come and stay here before you went somewhere. It was one of the suburbs that you wish to, I can go and stay there. But let me tell you, it is embarrassing because some of us are here for more than 20 years. There is not even one recreational facility. Just one. Netball. Forget about others. Just netball. It's really embarrassing. And some of us were saying, really, is this visit honest? Is these people coming maybe uzo campaign? Or are they coming really to come and listen to our issues? And I want you, the mayor, before you leave here, you must give us a commitment because you are only there for 5 months. Things might change and then sasa sihleli nawe sawucela sakhuluma nawe bagcine bayenza ezinye izinto siyacela at least uhambelana usikommitele into e1 Mr Mayor. Asina clinic, sine mobile people here mayele bagule ngamalanga. Umuntu mangagula Monday la kuyancengwa ukuthi hayi emahanyana ixoxa labo raro awu usikaba so reyancengana or usikagula too much because the clinic is only coming on Wednesday or Thursday. So if you were to happen to get sick on Monday, then it's a crisis. So we are asking again to say there are spaces here that are available that the city can buy because we don't have available space, that the city can buy and make sure that at least amenities are being given to our people. In closing, Mayor, in really closing, comrades, and I apologize community, ngoba sesijwayele uku-address ama-comrade. It is not right what this community is going through. Comrade Jack was here. Comrade Jack was here when we had a frustration ya cable. Why it was cable? There was never a report back until Ribere Fitle more than 10 today. But we appreciate that at least Aresana constant stealing of cables. Mayor, there are street lights that the ground over. At least le kupilo rekinya di meter ridikinse di meter. Le kupile la rekinya di meter ridikinse di meter. Mara le kopa re lukisa di lights. It takes you 20 years. When you come and disconnect us, you bring 20 vans. Mara le kopa le lukisa di light. Hotla track one for the entire Naturen. And here's the light is a 4. So we are begging you that at least when you live here, let's have real commitments that are going to happen. And I really want after this meeting, so that we don't think that we are here for campaign purposes. Amanda.
Thank you for concluding. We appreciate that. Mayor, can we just pass the mic? Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, I'm not going to talk to our councillor because he has failed us. Under his leadership, we didn't have any engagement. Under his leadership, Naturena has deteriorated. We've been staying here for more than 15 years. We had different councillors that tried to work with us. But with Utobile, it was never the case. All he cares about is Freedom Park and Lehigh. So in saying that, I'm just going to break it down a bit. Alex just said everything that we wanted to say, but I'm going to break it down so that you can feel the pain we are feeling as Naturen. I pay fair services every month and everyone else here. But every day when I go to work, I can't wake up after 5 where I stay by the mountain because there's no water. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to shower, to prepare to go to work. He knows that we've put it on the groups. Akaslaleli. When there is rain, can you please listen, guys? We are engaging with you. You can't be engaging yourselves. When we are having rain, there's these cables, overhead cables that were put because we were crying of the cable that was getting stolen. We suffer. Where is the insulation? Abbas insulate. All they care about is the payback from those people, 33%, and we don't know where it's going. Anyway, when it's raining, some of us don't have electricity because of those, of the insulation that is not done there. Our councillor knows about that. The third point, you touched on it, Alex, is potholes. Listen, guys, we are working, we are paying, but we have to fix tires of our cars. People are getting killed in Naturena because their tires are hit by potholes and then the tsotis come and kill them. He knows the cases that were happening. We don't sleep at night. I'm a CPF member and other CPF members here because every day there's a break-in. How are we gonna go out and assist the community in the dark? How are we gonna do that? So these are the major issues. It's service delivery, kahle kahle. Then if a person cannot give us that, then we don't have a leader. Clinic, we mentioned it now. We were given Thursday and Friday, but the clinic there, as and when they want to, they come only one day, or they don't come at all. Our elders must suffer. Our sick people must suffer. People don't have medical aids, must wait. They must decide when to get sick. Is it gonna come or not gonna come? So as the community that is paying for services, it's only 6 months, and I see this as a coincidence that you only come now. He knows we've been calling you for more than a year or two. 6 months now, you're gonna leave the office, and we're gonna sit with the same problems. The areas I'm talking about, I'm gonna break it down again. Freedom Park and Freedom Parks particularly. Those areas are not paying for services, but they have a clinic. They have recreational areas. And the people that are paying for services don't have those things. So what do you call that? Are we a cash cow for the communities that cannot afford? It can't be like that. That is why we are so tired. And if we're gonna have another person that's gonna engage with us like him, we will show you our wrath. We will go to a point where we will decide in unity not to pay for services anymore and see ukuthi le mali that we don't see where it's going izotholakala laphi. So sikhathele mayor, and I hope, as Alex said, you're going to live with commitments here because sikhathele is story. We don't want a councillor that's going to come only when there's a fiber project. Then he will call a meeting. But when there's a burning issues, he doesn't call meetings. Sikhathele, ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Mayor. I think you're the next one. Thank you.
Dumelang kaofela. I think you need a translator. Are you going to understand my language? Ka go bua Setswana tota tota.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Mama Busi and I'm Koko Busi at the same time. I'm going to be short because Alexi ubuile everything. Now my worry is this. We are senior citizens. We get 2.4. I paid water and electricity. I've got my phone here. I can even show you more epunyaka. The problem is this, bana haba sebetse. And always retolling the messages from different attorneys from Joburg. They will tell you, you must come and pay, you owe so much money. I'm staying with unemployed kids, grandchildren, 350, they don't get it. I don't know why. Another thing, Mona Churena. I think you have never ever seen people of Naturena Bamacha because we don't want to do that. But it's going to push us to do that. Last week it was so dark. I had to run. Imagine a 66-year-old Amat. Please, Mayor, can you fix the street lights? Can you please talk to people about Joburg water? Baskari phone. We've got so many diseases. High blood, how we are go check up. Bariko di mama, let me admit you. Koko siya admit. You can't admit me because kidula liba na babanyan. Things must be fixed. Yes, radibona, babuile ka di potholes. Imagine the potholes di kana kanang le mo natural. Okay, fine, radibona ko plekeng tse ding. But rona we paying bond, water and electricity. But a re tsebe tšhelete ya teng e ya kae. Ha re shebile mo Madlanga, o nagana ba jele tšhelete kana. O ipotsa go ntate Modimo. Why ne ba sa tle ba tlo re botsa gore mo tshwanetse re letse. People ba jele tšhelete. We are so hurt. Very, very hurt. How sheba Madlanga every e ka go kalla. We are in tears. Because honestly the kids are not working. Re kopa bana ba rona le rona ba hiriwe. Because we can't do it without chelete. Chelete is a big thing. Please lukisang electricity, li lukise li metsi. We are sick and tired or rona bo gogo. Every time e ka re go founelwa rona pele. Re nke kae mo 2.4 udula sa tlhola. Nna kontlung ke sebedisa oxygen with my 2 kids. I'm an asthmatic. Every time ka winter ke se le no nentse ke kenya le mask ne ke khothola tshwanetse o plake mole electric it like pi maki nkenyetse ya 100 rand e last standing 2 days it's finished, which is not fair. Should I die because I don't have money and electricity? It's expensive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mami. I think there's nobody else that's standing here. We've identified everyone that raised their hands. Can we now hand over to the executive mayor and the team to respond? I've asked questions on the left and right, so can we take 4 more? Okay, can we take just a few? Can we take about 4 or 5 to try and be reasonable? Mayor, I've seen there 2 hands at the back. Can you go to the left-hand side? 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Is that okay? Can you please move to? I took the 2 gentlemen. Their hands were up. Can you come closer here so that we can collect the queue? Yeah, can you stand here so that at least we can identify who raised their hands?
So,
Come up front.
Sanbonan Bahlali.
I've identified at least 6 people. Yeah.
1, 2.
Can we stand so at least we can manage the questions? Thank you. Yeah.
Sanbonani, leadership and Bahlali. Leadership, I'll be short, by the time in Hamba, you have to address the concerns that are being raised, particularly the historical debt issue. That's very important because ngezo say khuluma sonke but singa skippy because it impacts abantu abaningi.
Your name?
Sorry, Sandile Shabangu. Indaba historical debt issue is very important ukuthi singayikhulumi nje sidlulise because banya kwezinye indawo like abo Soweto niyabapromisa or niyabanikeza ama commitments but banifika naturena for some reason ngicabanga ukuthi rich naturena or we are millionaires and we are not. We are also working class. We are just like anyone. No muntu ohlala eSoweto uyafana nathi. But is treated differently. And that is evident more kuma property valuations. For some reason, you come here, you value our properties at 2 million, at 2.5 million, angazi nwathatha bla property valuations because siyafana, izindlu zethu ziyafana, just like any other area eSoweto. You understand? So sicela ukuthi ama issues ethu, particularly the historical debt. Amameya amaningi azile la basipromisa ukuthi bazoyaddressa. But like Alex said, you sell that book to the attorneys and then you harass our people. Then you are sending ama messages that you are going to cut off. Every day thola ama WhatsApp messages ukuthi abantu bazokhathelwa amanzi. And those are basic human rights. Electricity and water. Sinabantu abadala nje umama Shilo la who depend on those things. Imagine on a daily basis you are being threatened with cut-offs. Now you have to make plans. Uboleka imali la nala. So please, sicela ukuthi ni address properly. Ukuthi nizoyi addressa kanjani le ndaba le yama historical debts and isinika mapha ama commitments ukuthi nizostopa nini ukusendela ama message nisarasa and sibe ne way forward clear sazi ukuthi asathola ama message until sitholi way forward from the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if you ask the question, please introduce yourself. Give us your name, please.
Dumelang, ke Johannes Kutwane mo. Dumela mayor le councillor. Mayor msebetsi wa uthata. Because every community is crying. I think everywhere you go, every community is crying. So now I would like to maybe encourage a solution. Because as I've reflected as a Sowetan citizen, we need solutions. We need solutions. Mayor, number one, Utswansi, as a country who address their rent boycott is over. And because the rent boycott is over, you cannot patali subsidize. That message needs to travel far and wide. Because otherwise then so it has to be addressed at a national level. The rent boycott is over, people must pay for their services. Then it's going to be cheaper for people that are staying in Naturena. That's number one. Number two, we have to address the aspect of job creation. Because if there's no jobs created for our people, it is going to be very hard for you to then expect them to pay. If the youth, majority of the youth, unemployment is high, but for the youth it's worse. So we have to find creative ways where the city of Johannesburg subsidizes or helps any business kadi rebates. On the last point, Sandile touched on it, but he touched on it in a different way. I don't know how many write-offs have been there for Soweto. We need that grace, because we might have moved out of Soweto, but black tax is real. Is very real. Now even black tax even on the grannies, where they are looking after their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren on grant, there is no way. If you can have grace for Soweto, have grace for Naturena, please. Thank you.
Sambonani, igama Njabulo Nkonyane. Angizwakala.
Just put your mic closer to your...
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I tend to go along with what my neighbors have spoken about. So, and seeing as I don't think that I will get another opportunity to talk to the mayor, there are issues even beyond Naturena that I have been dying to get the mayor to respond to. On the arrival of the G20, I think it took a week or two for the city to be cleared. And it was real nice. 2 weeks flat, nice. Now, and Bree Street was working and everything was hunky-dory. Now, unfortunately, it took a week or two after they left for the city to go back to what it used to be. Now, the fact that it was cleared so quickly speaks to capacity. It tells me that capacity is there. Things can be done. Now, I don't know what its returning to its old self speaks to. But it has, as everybody knows. That is the one issue. The other issue is that when Mr. Mayor came on board, it was reported that about 200 buildings have been spotted as having been taken over by unruly elements, and that they will be returned back to the city. Now, what has happened, I actually am not aware of the city taking any of them back. Maybe the mayor will help on that. But I would like to know what the progress is on that. Instead, I see now that during the mayor's tenure, even the civic center has gone to ruin. Now that baffles my mind. You know, I mean, I can't wind my head around that. I'd like the mayor to explain that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one.
Sanborn. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I'm gonna be short, but I think I'll make sense.
Your name, sir? Your name, please?
My name is Ndumiso Dube. I reside here in Naturena. I've been here for almost 25 years now. Yeah, most of the things have deteriorated. Some of the things is not your fault, but because you're here, we want you to help us. We will also help you through those processes that we want you to put in place. We will support those things so that we can move forward. Most of the speakers that have spoken before me have addressed the critical issues that we have makes us, or in fact they give us nightmares, if I may put it that way. One of them is this water billing system, which has been going on for years and years. And the biggest challenge is this estimates. There is no way that we believe that the estimates can give you or the council the accurate readings so that people can fulfill the mandate to pay, yet the consumption is lower than that, the people that live in that household. The second issue, though some other speakers have addressed, is the issue of ESP. We can't seem to be approved on that because of this threshold or how we measure it, because once you have got an account that you have paid, it takes you critically, it kicks you off. The system kicks you off. One of the things that makes me angry is that when we talk about debt restructuring, we need people to be very much into a human space. They shouldn't depend on what the system is saying. They must consider what the community feels and say to them. Please, if that can also be a consideration, we're willing to support your policy direction towards restructuring all those debts. We will support you. The other thing that we have as a concern, but this is for the councillor, is that when there is no water, the people that suffer most are the people who are up the mountains. It takes forever to fill up. Therefore, the tankers doesn't come closer to us. And sometimes the tanker will be, we will see the councillor communicating that the tank or the truck is down Malta Road. And how many of us can carry the bucket from where we live to Malta? And we're talking about 9 o'clock in the evening. So if you can just look at those, Mr. Mayor, and we wish you that, in fact, I encourage you, if you don't have it now, that you get, I see a lot of people taking notes or they're writing something else, but if you can just direct us towards a policy reform, because most of these things I'm told, and I believe that they are within the system. People follow what is in the system. You go there and make arrangements. We also, all of us here, all of us have the problem with the billing system and the consumption of water. Therefore, if we can just look at that, that there is something wrong. We pay, but we cannot afford it. It's too much. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I greet the community at large. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'm going to try by all means to relay my message as calmly as possible. This issue is very personal to me. My name is Ntepo Ranabe. I'll spell it out for you because it's a very different name. Do you want to spell it out for you? November Tango Hotel, Echo Papa Oscar. That is the name. Now, I want to reiterate what my fellow community members have already spoken about, the estimated billings. You know, there's also historical debts that we are looking at. Some of us have been living here for over 20 years, and there's always been historical issues with the estimated billings. I think the councillors or whoever represents the council comes through and just looks at the property and estimates that, oh, if this house is this big or if this house is this size, they must be consuming so much. Not realizing that the tenants inside could be just 2 people residing in there. Now the estimate is killing us. We are keen to come to the party, to pay. I have been to the city of Johannesburg, I don't know, countless times to try to arrange for this ESP. But as you know, with this black history and the black text and the history that attaches to us with the lineages and everything, there's a whole lot of dynamics that comes to arranging such things, particularly when your parents are late and everything like that. Now I'm speaking to your heart and mind this evening, Mr. Mayor, to say please take those things into consideration. And you relying on the system and not looking at our grievances as human beings really leaves a bitter taste in our mouths. We are keen to pay. And on the other hand, there's an issue of security, which has, I think is a right, a human right. I've had 12 break-ins, not a single one has been resolved. There's the ultimate one that had the audacity to get into my property through the wardrobe, a locked bedroom, and cut a wardrobe and entered through the wardrobe into my bedroom, a locked bedroom. So when I experience mental breakdowns, because every single time I leave, when I come back, I find my house in a mess, regardless of whatever security measures I put in place. But because of the vulnerability that we have, people take advantage of us, and that kills us. Today, I'm unemployed because of the mental breakdowns that I've experienced. I've got qualifications, but I cannot be employed. I'm falling under disability. And that disability you don't even get because somebody has to approve it. Half the time it is disapproved. Now, how on earth is somebody supposed to meet the requirements to pay the arrangements that are unreasonable as well? Now you are incapacitated. You cannot even participate in the mainstream economy. It's like everything is just against you. The odds are just against you. You are in the community, you're getting robbed day in and day out. You report the cases, not a single one is investigated, not a single one there's a follow-up. I've had CPF members into my home, I don't know how many times. I ended up keeping quiet. But today I'm here to tell you that I refuse to turn the other cheek anymore. My neck is sore from turning the other cheek. I've done it 12 times. I can literally, my neck is loose. I refuse to turn the other cheek anymore. Security is a human right. So we really need to pay attention to that. I'm appealing to your heart and mind this evening. Consider us as human beings with needs. And we've got limitations as well. Limitations that are put upon us by the system. The system is playing against us. So please do come to the party and consider our needs. Thank you.
Siyabingelela Baba Mayor. Ngiyabingelela mphakathi. Egameni lika Jesu Buthelezi lona. Mina ngazi ibhadi lehlela nabafundisi. Ubaba Mayor ngiyambona usezohamba. Useyaphuma ngizwe kusho njalo ukuthi usezophuma. Kusho ukuthi vele inkinga ngekusalungiseka because nakwamanda kwakuyinkinga engangithi ngiyayibika ngithi wathi naye ngiyabuya ngizoyilungisa kunobhuti ababethu mangena wayekhuluma kakhulu lapha eTV wathi uzoyilungisa lezo nkinga esinazaza ngayilungisa nginenkinga Baba Mayor
ngifika la eNaturena ngithenga indlu 2023 ngoJuly. Nge first ngangiqala ukungena la endlini eNaturena. Buka ke ibhadi enginalo. After 3 months ngase ngikoleta 11,500. Angiyazi yani. Manje wabuya babugwamanda bathi bazoyilungisa ngajabula ngazi ngakhuluma kwi public meeting. Nani khona bafethu ngithi hayi bathe bayayilungisa ngathi bayayilungisa. Ibuyileke ibhili babumeya manje sengikoleta 49,800 angiyazi yani. So angazi mina ibhadi liyazi ubabumeya uzongithembisa ukuthi izolunga Nkosi yami bamkhiphe naye ebumnyameni mabantu bephume ebumnyameni mayiphume kodwa angazi ukuthi ngikweletani. Besicela babumeya ukuthi ukusikhulumele nawo ama stakeholders lawa bathi bazobuya abafowethu kube nesikhathi hayi lento eyenzakalayo sithole umbiko ngo6 ntambama sekumele sibe la akalikho iqiniso lapho belungu silungiseni leyo leniyenzile nje uyabheda iwrong ukuthi ningasibekela izolo ukuthi kuze meya namhlanje sekumele sonke sibe la siyeke into zethu anisithathiso kwabantu abaphilayo to lento yokusithembisa ukuthi uwater uyeza city power uyeza urevenue uyeza kuzohlala bese kujika kuthuleke la emva kwalokho silandelwa ama smart meter ku wrong nakho lokho sesiwavumile ama smart meters silandele izikolethu ngikhulunyiswa ukuthi isikolethu lesika 49,000 ngisithola kuma lawyer manje ngifonelwa ama lawyer ukuthi ngiyakweleta mina u49,000 but kwakuthiwe izolungiswa leyo issue ayikazi ilungiswa iloko mina ngisukumela ukuthi bafowethu siyanicela man siyanicela ingane zika baba hayi nibantu abamnyama sibantu abamnyama man hawu siyabonga.
Good afternoon, neighbors. My name is Lompanza. Sharing, Teles. When you call 49,000, mean I just received today 2 o'clock, which I owe 94,000 rands a month. So, neighbors and the mayor. Here are my issues. One, Teles, you talked about it now, that about the late notification. You cannot expect good results if you tell people now that tomorrow you have a meeting and the mayor is coming. And shockingly, 4 o'clock I was here. Everything was organized. This was planned long time ago, not yesterday. Don't fool us. Please, don't fool us. We are not stupid. Secondly, the issue of the surcharge. That city power is still charging us. That 250 rand, where is it going? Because currently, as we speak, the city doesn't have money, it's bankrupt. Where is this money going? That 250 rands that we buy, every time you buy electricity, there's a surcharge that you must pay first before you get your units. Thereafter, they give you 5 units for 500 rands. Where is that surcharge going? What is the use of that surcharge? If yesterday there was a letter that the city is bankrupt. And now today we are saying we must pay that 250 rands for what? Who is chowing that money? We have a library that was opened in 2019 or 18, if I'm not mistaken. Number one, our library doesn't have Wi-Fi. It's just a Wi-Fi. It's not a problem. Now here's the issue. Go to any area, you request the map of that area. It's still a plot. The library is not rezoned. But it was opened by Faith Maziwoge in 2018 or 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Today is 2026. The library is not rezoned. People who are working at the library, it's either they took them from somewhere and say, just be here, we're not just got this building. How are we supposed to succeed on Naturena? I get angry and let me just become, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have a new issue of low pressure. we have an issue of low pressure. Every evening, now as we speak, those who are staying in the upper areas, they don't have water. Every day, it's been 3 months now. I call, almost every day I call, Kleb sprayed, they do come. No, there's nothing we can do, we don't know what's happening. Low pressure in Naturena. Yet you go to Freedom Park, you'll find there's water running up and down the pipes, they are not fixed. Yet you come here, we complain. Mina, if I see a problem, I call and try to resolve. They know me everywhere. I go, I call, City, Johannesburg Water, they know me now. Yet they can't assist. Why are we having low pressure? There is no reasoning. And nobody's accounting for that. And lastly, I don't know why we have agreed to come and speak first. You were supposed to say, Mayor, Commander was here, we marched to the city in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. We marched, we gave out our grievances. You were supposed to give us feedback on that. We come today, we are hashing out all our problems now. It's piling up to the ones that we sent. It's a replication. We are busy repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting good results.
No, I think that was the last.
No.
Was there an old lady there? Okay. Can we take you as the last one, Mommy? We'll take you, go. Thank you, Mommy.
Dumela.
Yeah, you can sit, Mommy. It's fine.
Dumelang. Yeah. Dumelang kaofela. Le ba mo tafoleng ke a le dumedisa. Ke nna mme ma mokgatle. Ke nna mo Vesting and Malta. Kore ke neighbor ya a satellite police station. I'm not far from there. Yeah. So, kiala. Why is Mushimanolo wa kuane e pila ole? Mokin nanteng, ki kupaling kutwa lebontate limme. Ki farm ya maspala behind our houses. Kitari behind my house, kaurianong di neighbors ka ke batho ba se ba yang who can afford gore ba ipatlele batho ba khathang ditlhare. Ke na le ditlhare tse kakang ebile di tlo wisa fence. It's not far. Ga re tswa mo or whoever biana ka meya ka nne ka mmontsha ke mo khoneng fela the third house. Behind ntlo e ya ka e ke ditlhare, and my worry is one, bana ba kena mo skolo, bana ba kena mo ba nnang ka mo 19 behind our houses mo Vesting. Ba tabla pa mo moraga ka mole. Ba tabla pa mo teng gore ba ye ko 19. And now ke batlo le bolalla nnete today. I'm 87 years old. 87. Ke bravile this weather. Gore ke tlolla mo luna le nthuse. Bana ba one day re tlo utlwa ntho e botlhoko. Re ke ra gore ngwana wa batliwa kgante ngwana a ke batle le go bua. O latlhetswe mo ditlhareng. O latlhetswe mo ditlhareng tse ka mo moragaka. Ene ko re awele my neighbor o boletsa re batho ba tshwantse ba re thuse ka go khatha ditlhare ka gore batho ba senyang ba palama ka ditlhare tse ba kena ka mo jareteng yaka. Ba nsenyetsa ba tsere ditaspini ba tseya ding ba nsenyetsa. Yaanong ke kopa gore please ke founile the whole of last year. It's just a pity because I forgot my book and ke jota down mo bona ke na le mabitso a bona ba ne ke ba founela ko city ko park ba khathang ditlhare. Now it's a new thing, and every time I got to phone them ke tshwanetse ke patele 15 rand. 15 rand ya go etsa power hour gore ke bue le bona. Now kin twencha ha kere hello by yemisa by drop. By yemisa by drop. The whole of this year, up until now, ibile I've given up. Kabeka kopa lebo ntate baba mo satellite police station ba CPF. King CPFA. Kabakupa hor please. Bampuelele neba bamulele ka matataka. Ba iti matataka ba CPF ba mona. Ba iti ba ye ba obona ba be ba osheba ba bona hor mo ki kotsi mo. Now khona yanong kore ke alla. Yesterday morning ha ke re ke a tswa ke bona ke ntsha spin these water meter boxes akits but you sit at the top now I don't know gore ke mang wa tlitseng thopele. Now my worry is one, hapula ena what's going to happen ka that meter box batla itla sewa biang reading itla sewa biang yanong ke kopa gore ba metsi ga ba diteng itlang dintukisetse le boneng gore lo etsa yang so sele se ba se senze yanong ne ke suspecta bana ba. But on second thought ke re no man, it can't be these children. Akitsitla ba mang, I don't know, I don't want to blame anybody. Yanong ke feleletsa ka e builweng ke ntate a re debt relief la itse ka debt relief ke kirile di forms ka yona taba e ya di meter tse change-wang ka ya kwa ba bona gore no mistakenly banka reading from the wrong meter bianong ka ke applyile because every time ne ba mfounela ba re tla re tlo tima. Imagine ke re modimo ga ka ampitsang khopola o tlo nkera ke le mo lefifing COJ, I'm telling you banaki COJ intimate. But now every time I run there gona le one thusang a re no mama I'll phone them gore ba go ntshe mo listing ka gore o setse ke applyile ke kirile le ref. But now late last week go phonile ene ke mo utlwile I'm not a ke kenye reisimo but ke mo utlwile nele moshimane wa lekgowa a re o tlo patelaning se ile 74,000 a re tlo patelaning 74,000 ka mmotsa ka re wena ga o bala mo computering ga o bone gore mo ke I ready ke di tse di arrangements you know hi
Thank you, Mami. Thank you for that. I think we've come to the end of the questions. We've given everyone an opportunity. Executive Mayor, over to you. Thank you, and the team.
Thank you, Director Padeache, Miki, and media. Jalebo Khasbak. And let's also welcome the media people that I see here today. I'm having a meeting at 8:30 tomorrow morning with the Minister of Finance, Minister Enoch Otongwana. Today I concluded a meeting with the AG, South Africa, to deal with matters in relation to the audit outcomes and the AG report. So as part of dealing with the letter written by the minister, we starting those engagements by tomorrow so that we can clear some of the issues contained in the letter of the minister. And post that meeting, we'll then give you a proper report on the matter related to the letter written by the minister. It is also important to note that the minister has a responsibility to ensure oversight on municipalities, especially in matters related to finances. Where he's concerned, he has a mandate to write a letter and request answers, and we are now starting the process to engage. The administration is also meeting with National Treasury on benchmarking on some of the matters as raised by the minister. Ke kgopela ho bolela le mme Mokgatle. Ke tla bolela le bona ba tla tla ka Mantaga ba tlo tlosa difate. Because the fate shouldn't take a council decision, it's a matter of efficiencies. So ba tla tla ka Mantaga ba tlo tlosa difate tse go tshwenyang. Ke tlo founela Thando Xolo, ke ena CEO ya City Parks today, ha ke tswa mo. Hore atle a tlo lokisa difate ka Mantaga. Now, it's not only the fate, there's also issue of grass cutting in the area. But now, sefate se agent, ka Mantaga ke tla attend. Then ke tla raise le taba ya grass cutting in the entire area. But I also want to indicate to you that this area of Naturena, the bulk of the land, it's not city land, it's private. It's private land. Ke Alex le ringtone ya. Okay, op. Zama we improve man, haina vavavumnyana. So we'll have to resolve the grass cutting in the area. But I must be upfront with you, the bulk of the area is private land. Now in terms of our own governance processes, private land we can't touch. So what we'll then do is to say which one is provincial land and which one is municipal land and deal with grass cutting. 2, development planning has made an undertaking that they will then go after the private landowners to cut their grass. Because by law we should be issuing them with fines if they're not cutting. So I've then agreed that there must be a program focused in Naturena to follow up on those private landowners to address the land. The library should not be a bigger issue, Mpanza. We will sort out the issue, but let me explain. There are instances where provincial government went in to build structures without following planning processes. And once the structure is there, they then come and say, we want the structure to be rezoned. Now that process, we have to do it in accordance to our own pace and our own legislation. So we are in the process of finalizing the rezoning of the library. Yes, it was opened by MEC Faith Mazibu. So we must follow our own processes to the latter. It can't be that province did what they did and now we just have to follow. So we are correcting it together with them. They've admitted and accepted. Now it's not right for anyone to just build without following development planning processes. Even yourselves, as property owners, you have to apply for any form of structure to build. And we have been echoing this message to the province from time to time, that you can't just enter and build without us having approved. But at times they also have their own processes and pressures that by this time they should have delivered on this project. So hopefully, Mpanza, we will finalize quite soon the reasoning of the library. And once it's finalized, the message will then be sent by the councillor so that community can know. Now, I want to address availability charge thoroughly, which you call surcharge, which is the 200 rands we charge for availability. Now, we undertook a process with NERSA in 2016, 2017. And that process, all municipalities were required to undertake. So we then said, City Power, can you start the process to understand the costs associated with prepaid metering? So they went through, it's called a cost of supply study, which we undertook in 2017, then it was completed just around 2018, which is the study that we conduct to confirm the cost of supply to your households. Now, in the past, we used to get a grant from ESCOM around infrastructure, and that grant no longer exists, which we used to use that grant to maintain the electricity infrastructure. We then had to conduct the cost supply study for us to introduce the availability charge for us to receive the cost of maintaining the electricity infrastructure. Now, electricity is transported from point A into your property, and there's a cost associated with that transport of electricity and maintenance of that structure which transports your electricity. And money had to be found from the customer. Then in 2024, we then passed the availability charge at an amount of 200 rands. In 2025 budget, we did not increase the availability charge. We have gone out during the IDP processes, which I think we're concluding this weekend, the IDP consultations. We are going with a further request to increase the availability charge by 10 rand. No. I think in Nigi report any clearly. Now, the issue here is that there's a cost associated with infrastructure maintenance. Now, I suppose that you also attended the IDP sessions where this matter was raised, and if you had an objection, you then object that we don't support the 10 rand increase. We also are looking at not increasing in this year. However, council will have to make a final decision on the 10 rand increase. Conventional customers, your availability charge now is 930. So mina ongu conventional, we are being charged 930 for availability charge. 900. No. Ungakhuluma kanjalo because ubhuti wami yena akasebenzi. So don't go there. No. I gave you an opportunity. Don't go there. Now, we are being charged, those on conventional, 920, 30 rands. All our customers on conventional. Now, you've got a cost of 200 and prepaid, you've got a cost of 930 on conventional. The city is now experiencing a migration of those customers from conventional into prepaid. And we are losing the necessary revenue to invest into infrastructure maintenance. Because they are now opting for the 200 rands as opposed to the 900 rands. Now, up front, the availability charge is there. The only thing we can negotiate is that it should not be increased. But we need the money to maintain your infrastructure. And unfortunately, somebody has to pay for that money. But let me also explain further about those that are on prepaid. Because at times people don't follow the explanation. Those that have successfully been registered on ESP and they've got an ESP number, they're exempted from the availability charge on prepaid, but not on conventional. I must explain it properly. If you are on prepaid, you've got an ESP number, we exempt you from charging you the 200. Now we've got 113,000 customers currently who are on our ESP and are on our prepaid. We're not charging them. And we've got another number of about 103 that we're charging them because they are not on ESP. So we're charging you because you are not on ESP. It means possibly you are employed, you have an income. Those that we're not charging and they're exempted is either they're unemployed or they're pensioners. Now I would encourage you to sort out the ESP. But let me tell you that the ESP itself has limitations that we have been working through to correct. The system at times when it finds out that you had a company registered and you are hoping that God will help you and you'll get success in the business, but the business did not take off, it's likely to pick up that you have a company. Therefore, it assumes that you can afford. Right. Now we have raised that so that they can update the system. The difficulty that we have is when your child constantly sends you money. So we arrive at the decision that in your account there's money. Wait. Akere ba kgolang kam le bona ba tseba re sebetsa ya. Now that is how the system is designed. But Unalintato Yemimo and made policy shift proposals. I think he said his name is in Joburg. Is it in Ndumiso, Dube? So he made some proposals that can you go and relook at amending your system because it's disadvantaging us as working class and poor. Which is something that we will take. But as it stands now, yes, the system has limitations. But those who are on ESP successfully, the benefits are there. We don't charge you the availability charge. So I'm addressing the availability charge, the 200 rands. Ninanibizi surcharge, it's fine, whatever you call it. Uptelezi spoke about the billing, which is our biggest problem that all of you have. But the main issue is also historical debt. I get. And khantle ke yona ntho e le batlang. Khantle. Tse dingwe ke di side show. Ka gore le na le mathata a gore la kolota. Whether right or wrong, ai ha ona re tšhelete a re no e tseba ka gore ntse ke bulela pompo ya metsi. No. No. Go file nako. Go file nako, Lucia. No. No, dula fatshe. Dula fatshe. Tlhompha ko tlhompe. No. I think we must address the issue. Yeah, Lucia. When you are in a meeting, Lucia, and given an opportunity to speak, you speak, you raise your point. If somebody responds and you don't agree with the response, you wait for the person to finish and you raise your hand. And I think we must address it, Lucia. Here, we are all adults. Rebom Melbourne Tateba meets our company. No. Once you speak the language like this, no, you must respect the person on the floor the same way he respected you. I never said you were lying when you were speaking here. You see, then there's a problem. You must allow the meeting to proceed, raise your hand and raise your point, so that we don't disrespect each other. Now you have disturbed my thought of mind. So let me address it once more, the issue. Now the issues that you are concerned about is historical debt, accumulated in whatever format, whether through consumption or lack of consumption, therefore, accumulated through estimates, which our credit control management system allows us to estimate for a period not more than 3 months, and post the 3 months adjust the estimates. That's what our systems allow us to do. And there's nothing wrong about estimates, as long as it's done within that policy framework. That is 3 months, adjust, and where you have to do adjustments, you do. Now, we will look deeper into your issue, and I'll explain it in this fashion. One option we have currently that is available to you as customers is debt rehabilitation. That's the first one. Debt rehabilitation means we total your debt, we halve it by 50%, we write off immediately your 50% when you pay us the 50%. That's the debt. Give me an opportunity. I can really reiterate the option and commitments. That's one option that the city has available to you as our customers. The second option is the one that I was explaining earlier. It's in relation to our debt book. Our debt book is now sitting at 87 billion rands. Amanki, explain, if you can be quiet. I get about the solution to your problem that has been created between the city and the customers. The second matter that we are working on is our debt book, which is sitting at 87 billion. 11 billion of that is not recoverable, which then includes areas like yourselves, Eldos, Ivory Park. Now we are in the process of cleaning the 87 billion. So that 11 billion, we can undergo a process to prepare for a write-off. Now, it's important for you to work with us in that process. Because the government does not come in and says, yes, I'm going back, I'm going to write off. It can't. Because you'll be held liable by the AG, by National Treasury, and you must undergo a process of that 11 billion, which we believe is not recoverable. It's not recoverable because some of it, for example, a person is owing 800,000, but there's no meter in the house. But she's been consuming water, but there's no meter. We are alive of those things. There are instances where your bill has been proper, and suddenly it moved from 2,000 to 48,000. So we are aware of those issues. That some of the issues that led to these high bills could have been technical issues, could have been system issues. And we are addressing them through the debtors book. Just, I think this morning, is it this morning? We had a meeting at 7, and we're presented with a debt book on how we are going to have a plan to remove and write off the 11 billion. So allow the city to start its processes and conclude. But what does it mean then in the meantime? It means if your bill is proper now in the month of May, pay what is due in the month of May. The bill that comes in the month of May and it's proper and it's aligned, pay the bill. Leave the historical debt. We will then engage with our revenue department to manage the debt collection lawyers, which is people who are appointed by us. But if your bill this month you don't pay it, it does not form part of the historical debt. So moving forward from this day after our engagement, I expect you to pay your bill. Good? No. Billy, Alifi told you the statement. All right. Now we will ensure that the revenue department sends your statements. I don't know why you have not been receiving your statements. So anyage silwe because we have agreed that the historical debt, we are parking it for the process that the city is undertaking on the debtors book. So there's no more question on historical debt. Then we must agree. Eh? Okay. Jwale he ke tla itlhalosa ka maleme a mangwe. Okusho ukuthi lokho ngikhulumile manje. I-historical debt noma isikoloto samandulo sisibekele eceleni ukuthi sinike emanyana no. Angifuni izandla. Ninganginiki izandla. Zizongihlupha izandla. Sikubekele eceleni. Labubedi. Itlare rona ha re fetsa the internal process e re thomeng kasheko on the 87 billion with 11 billion not recoverable. We will then finalize the report and take it to council, which will then culminate in an official write-off of the 11 billion, which you are part of the 11th billion. So re tla etsa re le masepala. Now the question is, how long will that process take? We are hoping that process should not take us at least more than 3 months to conclude, so that we allow ourselves to come back and give you that report in 3 months. So we have agreed that we are restructuring the debt book. The 11 billion, we are convinced we have done everything we can, is not recoverable. There's even one employee of the city, a meter water bill, it's 1 million. Even if we take from the staff account, because the staff of the city we deduct from their salary immediately. It means you won't have a salary for the next 100 years, because he's a general worker, if you think about it. And she stays in Ivory Park. So we are aware of those things and we are dealing with them. Except that in Ivory Park, we're engaging with them now to accept water meters. Now we are going to do that. The second part, to go deeper into your accounts, because you are a customer of the city. We must then go deeper into your account to understand the individual account. So I'm going to ask our revenue department to set up a day to come and look at your accounts, all of you, so that we are certain that Alex's account, this is the issue. So-and-so account, this is the issue. So we will do that probably in the next 2 weeks and agree with you and send a notice on time that the revenue people will be here with the computers and the systems and look at you, including bringing social development to help with registration of ESP on that particular day. So we will do that. You are noted, Lucia. You'll be given a chance once I've summarized so that other colleagues can also respond to the issue on the historical debt. Alex, there will be no flat rate. That will never happen. Because the consumption of your house determines how much you must pay. Once you say flat rate, but your consumption is 1,000, but you're paying 150, it defeats the purpose. So flat rate, we're not going to allow you in the city of Johannesburg. We charge you according to what you consume. Now, Mamo Khatle ke khutlela ho wena. You also qualify on the ESP for 15 kiloliters of water for free. So you are not only qualifying for 6 kiloliters. You are a pensioner. The city has went beyond and said people like you qualify for 15 kiloliters for free. As long as you have a water meter, we should be able to provide you with 15 kiloliters. So if you are not getting it, let's get to the problem, resolve the problem, and get you to get your water. There's an issue about high-lying areas. Pumeza spoke about it now, that they are not getting water. We do have a water person with us here, who will then give us a report. He's sitting there. We do have water challenges in some areas, especially high-lying areas, in terms of pumping the water to those areas. So part of what we are doing is building water towers. I think we are doing 3 in Midrand. We'll probably be doing 1 or 2 this side of the area, so that the high-lying areas can have constant supply of water. So the water engineering has to try and pump water from here, pump them up into the tower, and then the tower can then release to high-lying areas Yes, we have been having problems, especially with high-lying areas in terms of water supply. So I don't have a full report now, and I don't want to thumbsuck, but I'll allow him to come in just to brief you on what we are doing interventions in Naturena. We're doing interventions on the water to stabilize our water supply in Johannesburg, which we believe we have done better with now the introduction of the Brixton Reservoir and all other reservoirs that we are building and others we are renewing. Potholes, it's a problem. And JRA has been consistent to also say the heavy rains that we have received in Johannesburg has also contributed a lot. But there's no excuse. I will then have to go back and ask JRA to come with us in the next week to walk the area and start the process of closing the potholes. We do have an ash flood plant. It's now operational, which means we should not be having much challenges on closing the potholes because the ash flood plant is there. The only challenge that we have is the truck that keeps the ash flood hot on site. And that's the challenge that we're still trying to see if we can't procure those trucks that can keep it hot on site. Because ash flood from the plant to where the potholes are, it must be kept hot. But we'll come and do something on the potholes. On the street lights, there's already a project that the city is undertaking. They are also here from City Power to clean and prepare all your street lights. They will give us an indication in this meeting when will they be operational, but there's a project already. It must come in there because I think it needs somebody technical. It must come in there because I think it needs somebody technical. Somebody said during rain, when it rains, electricity goes away. So I guess it's a technical issue. I don't know it. But the gentlemen here who are with me will respond to it. Now, there's no plan on a clinic to build a clinic here. So the community says they really need a clinic. Now, for us to build a clinic, we must also mobilize a budget. Now, what I'm going to do is to take the matter of the clinic to be high on the agenda of health department. So I'll speak to the MMC responsible that yes, this matter has been there for long, the same way we are also trying to resolve it in Cosmo City and in other areas. I was shocked that because Naturena has had an old suburb, now I was shocked that that old suburb never had a clinic. So Alex will then try and prioritize the clinic. But we must continue to update you because being honest and factual, we may not secure the budget this year. But we must work towards securing the budget next year. We normally spend just around 90 million rands to build an NHI compliant clinic. Just around 90 or so. So we must go and raise the 90 million to build an NHI compliant clinic in this area. And it's important that you have a clinic within a 50, they say 50 radius or something. So we will work on it. But it means there must be that work between us and you on the clinic. And then we will deliver it. In the next budget, we'll fight that we get it into the budget. Mebusi, street lights are lukisa Mebusi, but Mebusi raised one critical area. There's a problem in South Africa which needs a solution urgently. It's unemployment. Unemployment is the major problem in our country. And I think we must work with government and the private sector to create those opportunities. Because if people have employment, they are easy to manage their own costs. But if they're not, then it comes to a government. So we need to find ways of how together, government and the private sector can stimulate our economy. And I think the Iran war also set us 2 steps backwards on growing the economy. Because tomorrow we must pay another 6 rand extra just on diesel. But there's also positives. I was reading today that Kusile is running full capacity. And they are now spending 60% less on diesel, which is an indication that something is happening in the electricity business. Because for you to build the economy, you also need energy. And if there's sufficient energy available, we are able to grow and invest in the growth of the economy. So I was encouraged with the article that I saw today on Kusile being completed, which means now we are almost 1 year without load shedding. We are now working to remove load reduction, which will also remove before the end of this year, because Kusile is now up and running. So there are things that we are doing to improve the quality. And don't make any mistake to think that when you raise these frustrations, you are irritating. You are not irritating us. It's our work to ensure that we use the levers of state power and government resources to make an impact on improving the quality of life of South African citizens. So don't feel that we are irritated when you raise these things that you are raising today. So you must raise them, because if you don't raise them, how would we have reacted as government? I'm the mayor, but I didn't know that you don't have a clinic. No, I'm being honest, I can't like a mood. Because now I always thought Naturena had that old suburb, and most of those old suburbs had clinics. So we'll have to invest in a clinic. And we are going to do so in the next budget. In fact, we must tighten it up this year so that next year it's there in the budget. Because Alex is worried that we may not come back. So if I don't come back, at least it's there in the budget. Now, why are we charging you rates? And somebody said, I think it's Sandile. No, it's in Dumis. It's Sandile. Who said your properties are now valued at over 1 million. It's a good thing. Yes. Once your property appreciates in value, it should be a good thing. Because when you sell, you will sell at that value. Is it not a good thing? You. I understand. Okay, you'll make me understand. How come, Osi? Just a second. I want to understand this analogy. Pardon? Why? Okay. So the question in Naturena is that you are overvalued.
We are overvalued.
Oh, okay. Now let me explain this thing. Kuluma mama.
Okay, so the property is
Yeah, mina
overvalued.
ngijabula kabi mayikhuphuka ivelu.
Iyakhuphuka, on my statement, it's overvalued. When I take my property and I evaluate it with realtors or I try and put it back on the property market, it's not valued at that. It's valued at less than half of that.
Okay.
How then am I supposed to pay the rates, that 2.5, but my property is valued at?
Okay. Right. No, now I understand.
Secondly, to show you that I've followed up, I went to the city of Johannesburg. They said we must then fill in forms to say that our properties are overvalued. They've done nothing with that. I've done that process 3 times. Nothing happens.
Okay. I think I understand the issue of property value in Naturena. Because I was like, when property appreciates, we should be celebrating. No, ngenzwe. Now I'm going to sit with the rates department. Fortunately, we are starting a new evaluation role. So there's a project specific to your area. Because when we do property values, we also benchmark with independent evaluators. So I will then speak to Tobile, we will meet with Sihle, and we'll have a rates intervention. Now I understand you are overvalued. That is the issue. But the market does not put you where the city has put you. Then you find difficulties, not only in selling, but also in the rates that you must pay, which has created the historical debt. So we are addressing it. Okay, fine. So we are addressing even property values. I'll speak to our rates branch so that we plan a project. Remember, there are processes where you must object, but sometimes the objections don't find their way through. So I will engage with them before you take us to court, because the law also allows you to take us to court. But I will sort it out with the rates department. It's not a difficult issue. It's not a difficult issue. Now, somebody said in Soweto they are not charged rates. They are being charged rates in Soweto. The only thing that we have is our collection rate in Soweto is sitting at 43%. Because we're only collecting on rates. Electricity is Eskom. It's not a city's mandate. So people in Soweto are charged rates and they are paying at 43%. Others are not paying, and we are also going after those that are not paying. We do write letters, we do have credit control on them, except that we can't exercise credit control because electricity is Eskom. We can't switch them off because we use electricity as a tool for credit control, but we can't do it in Soweto. So they are charged rates, and those that are on water meters, they then buy their water. So don't think that Soweto not, we are charging them. It's just that our collection is low, it's at 43%. We want to push it to at least 85, 86% on rates and taxes. The structure of rates works in this manner. Any property valued under 350,000, we don't charge rates. Any property above 350,000, we then start charging rates. When we arrive at the median, there's another formula that we use to charge those rates. I think I have covered the billing issue on historical debt. So I want to work with you until we can close it, once and for all. But I'm also asking you, when your bill is correct, pay us. So we will give you your bills, ensure that you get your bills, so that you pay the municipality. The last thing I want to say, I know there's a Lucia want to speak. You are noted. I want the gentleman from City Power to come and explain. There was a question, and the water. Okay, there you are. Just to respond on the water issue. So those two areas, and then we can take Lucia for a question. I have to sit down. Yeah, mama, batla o fa chance wena le Lucia. Okay. Erere ba Arabe, then the tla potso wena le Lucy and the gentleman there. Then we can close our meeting with clear action plans. One, the rates people will be here to engage on the matter of rates as raised by Osikwa Komrao, so that we look at how you have been valued and the community believes you have been overvalued, so that we correct that area. And there's a process in the municipality which evaluation objections, so we will deal with it within that space of the law that allows us to do that. Secondly, we have agreed we will park the historical debt. It will form part of the processes that the city is doing with the 11 billion that is uncollectible, so that we can reach a stage of a write-off. We'll ensure that the bills are sent to you so that you can start honoring what you need to honor. Then the rest, Kibodi street lights, there's a project, you will talk to it, and the water and the potholes. I think those were the major issues that were raised. And I want to thank you for having given us an opportunity to engage with us in this month. Now they're gonna note you and the gentleman at the back, and as long as you are not raising the same thing that has been raised. Thank you. Mickey, I'm not chairing. Mickey will chair and take your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I think we did agree that we're going to allow City Power to come forward and Joburg Water to respond, and then we'll take a few hands. And I think we must agree it's not raising the same issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Artie. Evening to the mayor, ward councillors, community at large. My response will be brief to the point, Artie and executive mayor. We don't have an issue of supply and demand in Naturena. We've got enough capacity. What we'll do is by tomorrow morning, I will assign a team to come and investigate the challenge. And we are promising that before the end of this weekend, we'll resolve the matter and have those areas that are on the high-lying areas water restored. Thanks, Artie.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Bahlali. There was a question about electricity that goes off when it's raining. Yes. Firstly, let me ask the street in question, Ritlanga the details. Which street is that one? And that every time when there's rain, it goes off. Okay. Kiatseba or Naturena is coming from Ekenhof. And Kiatseba or Naturena has been fed from Ekenhof substation. And Ratseba or City Power, you'll remember that in the past 2 years, we had a problem of Ekenhof being off due to theft and vandalism. And then we came up with a solution, we had the overhead line, right? And then since that solution ebating, we never had a challenge, or the challenge that may be there is minimum. And through your intervention and together with City Power, we managed to restore that problem to be in stability. Now, when there is lightning, and I want to educate this so that we are all in sync. When there is too much lightning, sometimes power will go off. And I know, because every time when it rains, we get notifications that it tripped and particular circuit away, and then we are able to send the team there. I've been monitoring, or we have been monitoring the space. Yes, it may go off here and there, but it's not every time when it rains. I say every time when it rains. Yes, at times when there is that harsh lightning, it fails. And it fails because the lightning itself is too much for the equipment to hold. So what does it do? It protects itself from being damaged, because the surge or the power of the current or the voltage induced is too much to handle it. So what does the system do? If it's too much, it protects itself by doing what? By tripping. So high tripper, it does not mean re ka se kgone ho restore. We come, we investigate. There was a lightning. We don't go again and look at our points of earthing to check if all is still in order. If it's damaged, we reinstate earthing ya rona. Then we protect, including the what we call surge arresters or lightning arresters. Se di re thusang equipment ya rona gore e kgone go hold on to that. So it's a mechanism of how it protects itself. However, it is not at all times, because Mudimu haetsa lightning ha re tsebe gore e tla ka matla makana kana. So sometimes equipment, because it's man-made, it thuswa ka ona mogwana o ya ke protect. So ke tlhago e fela ha e wele re atla re restore. We will always come and restore in Naturena. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You see, we even call upon the Lord to help us. So we got our JMPD head commissioner. Please, if you could just address the issue about crime. I think a senior citizen has raised the issue of crime. If you can just, for a few minutes, thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Executive Mayor, MMC is present, Councillor. Dumelang batho ba etso. Ke nna Patrick Jaka, the Police Commissioner ya Joburg, and I've heard the frustration that were raised, and it goes to everybody. But since I've been here, we've managed to speak to the Vice-Pol Commander ya Mondio, And we checked as well. We did our own research. And we found, because we spoke also to the CPF, and we find out that at night there is a problem of robberies in this area. Now, the problem here is when they see me in uniform, they'll just suspend whatever they have to do. When I go, and then they do something. So fortunately, with the mayor and everybody and council, we are having what we call our TRU unit. Kibabitsa dipoko. So don't be surprised at night, between that time, we are being stopped. They will be in your area from maybe midnight to make sure that until before, so that they can deal, because we have to combat crime. Because once babona koloi emarked, it's prevention. He or she suspends. When you go out, he hits. So the best thing is Baba Tole in the act or before they commit the act. So that's what we are going to do as JMPD to try and combat the crime that is troubling members of the public. Furthermore is, if there are issues, because in other areas, the way people, they want to be policed, they'll call you and say, we have a problem. What is the problem? No, the dog of the neighbor is barking. Really, we have to go there. And it's difficult to address. And when you arrive there, you find there's dogs this side, there's dogs that side. That's how they communicate. So that is what we do. But unfortunately, those are the complaints are coming, but we are saying we have heard your frustration, and then we'll try and also assist. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I think we've agreed, ladies and gentlemen, can we at least get the clarity after the input that was made by the mayor? I think that was at least 4 or 5 hands we noted. I think, Mayor, you were number 1. The gentleman at the back was number 2, 3, 4. Can we take that last 4 hands? Then at least we can try and move towards closure, if that's okay with you. Thank you. Can you come to the front on my left-hand side? Please, ladies and gentlemen, again, the appeal is that respect works both ways. So if you didn't like the response, please don't call us liars. We tried our best. So can we queue here and ask the questions? We're allowing you, Mayor. Over to you. Thank you.
Leadership, Mamkin, Saubon. Babu Mayor, you spoke about which is Nizozi Skrepela Labo 500,000. Thanks for that. Mare, my worry is, Nia scraping it is opela, but Nini, Nisazo Tatis card, yes. If you get footile 500,000 in Nicolota, it's also Buyel. Ask me why. Because I am not working. And the ET is Colota, some like me, Bebating Banigas 2,010 rands. I lost my husband last year, October. I went there hoping because he's no longer here, they will think of describing all those steps. They said, you are still alive, you must pay 2,100. Where am I going to get that money? Because CivTech is closed. At least I was working at CivTech. It's no longer there, CivTech. It's closed. Yes. At least if I was working, I was going to be able to pay 500. So I'm not working. And then Peter Hapeki Batantato City Power Oskatama Otore explain the smart meters tell Lidiense because all those things being controlled by a human being. There's something that you have done or we don't have 3,000 rents a month for electricity. Please, and reverse what you have done. You cost us a lot. Maybe you are the cost of because of stresses, 5,000 in the high blood. Somebody said it to the high blood because of you. You've done it purposely so because you want to recover 4.8 billion that is lost there at City Power. It's not us who stole that money. It is not us who stole that money. So please, le kgutlele morao and fix that stupid smart meter still refilling on. Le bapala ka rona lona. We are willing to pay. We are willing to pay. But I cannot pay electricity at 3,000 rands. I can't pay that electricity. No, Padayachi, so stop it.
I said, look,
Mamtrina, ngicela ukuza kuwe no mayor nisesekhona ngoba utho Alex I don't know ukuthi nizoba khona or nisazoba anizoba khona. Leya library leyana Alex was talking about it. May the time Faith ayivula ngisakhumbula kahle. Besi under councillor Upangweni. We went there and we told that Faith ukuthi we have a graduate here in Naturena. Sinabo abantwana abafundile. Kakhulu futhi la Naturena. So we will be happy if abantwana bethu bangazoqashwa lapha. What Faith, because library must be open. Let's do it temporarily so they are working temporarily and then they will be removed and then baqashe la Naturena. Up to now I think it's 10 years. They are still working. What about abantwana bethu? City Power, umntwana menze electrical engineering. UOFS, le University of Free State, when's electrical engineering? Nimqashe naye. Nimqashe. And mayor, ngicela usithathele abantwana abayi10, 10 graduates from Naturena. 10 graduates from Naturena. Ngizokulethela ilist yabo ne. Where do you place them? Ngizokulethela 10 graduates. Ubathathe la. Sibone ukuthi nasebenza. Thina iNaturena ayifunwa yonke indawo. Nifika la abafuna ukusiqasha. Sifika senzene engaka. Sizoyithatha phi imali yokubhadala ama services? Where are we going to get the money to pay services? Siyafuna. Mina since umeni wamashona angisabhadali ngoba bekuuyo obhadalayo. Bekuuyo obhadala. So I'm no longer paying. So thirdly, mamcina nizwile leya library ne. Sizozinikeza 3 months. Nibakhiphe, ni advertise umsebenzi niqasheni ngoba that job azange advertise. Kwathiwa uMamfethu wathi hayi mabazovula temporarily, so even now still temporary. Still temporary. And sinabantwana bethu abangasebenzi. Abangahamba bayosebenza. Siyaqala ukuthi sicela nisithathele nabantwana bethu. Ngizoletha ilist kwesithandwa sami ne short ke.
thank you.
According to grass cutting, Bab May, kune issue agent uthobile yazi akasakhulumi nokhuluma nami because athi ngimoshela ilanga njalo mangisiyambuza. There is a passage esuka kulo yamama so mayizothi uyayazi uthobile le passage. Last time bacishe ba rape umntwana lapha. In fact, mawungaya uyobheka, those houses were not supposed to be built there. Ngoba at any time zizowa. Ngoba the bridge lebesina ilibe liyaphela slowly ayisekho. Manihamba melumele omunye across before you can cross. So nale window shopping basenza la yona mabazoyenza grass cutting. Sicela nilethe iJRA kuzoba yenza amaphoto. Nilethe iCity Parks kuzoba yiyo ekhatha because labantu enibalethayo laba amathenda bavele bayishaye ufuna iextra ngithi bayishayela bahambe. Sasa imvula yanetha ingaka futhi abagundi abayenzi next bahamba ngem sicasheni siyogunda sizoya me please.
Thank you.
Dumelang bagolo, lebitso la ka ke nna Shadi Make. Ke dula mo Naturena. Mayor, Chief ya JMPD, it's a crime in ngata mo Naturena. And to be honest, it's not even in ngata, iya refeta. And can we please, Mayor, recoup the funding from you for rekenye the LRP cameras in Naturena by the entrances, at least one ibekwa ko breaching, one ibeko Malta, engwe ibeko ileng go ratseba gore ha crime e etsiwa mo Naturena, that is the exit route. Can we please, Mayor, or to recreate those cameras in Naturena? And then the second thing, my request, Mayor, we have a problem yadi drug consumption mo Joburg, not only in Naturena, in the whole of Joburg. And it is with a heavy heart to say The rehabilitation center di kwetswe. Where must we take these children? The one rehabilitation center that was saving the whole of Joburg, that was in Randfontein, it's closed. I mean, I'm not talking about Sanka, because when we take these children to Sanka, Baya Hoseng Mansibana Babuya, in the same environment, ya di drugs, then we are just wasting our time. So let the rehabilitation, because yesterday. So that means we are killing our children. The rehabilitation is that there are children that are saying we want help, but where do we take them? Oh, Ntate Panyazali Swift will keep on saying kinale farm, kinale ing, kisang bana. It's like he's playing with our minds because he knows that how frustrated are we as parents. Maybe you guys don't know drugs. You only know about maybe your families. But have you ever, in your house, stay with the person that is using drugs? That's why I'm saying, can those, please, rehabilitation centers, dibulwe, as of belief. Joburg has never had the rehabilitation center. It has never. That is a fact. And then the last one, council. To come and explain to us where does Naturena fall, 24 or 119. We don't have any results. The papers from the demarcation board says we are in 24. When you respond on the group, you say we are still in 119. The elections are in November, we don't know where we're polling. Are we 24 or 119? So we need to get clarity, where are we? Because the papers are saying we are in 24. Can we get clarity on that? Please. And then the last one, Mayor, you know there's a say that says, the poor are not sleeping because of they are hungry. And the well-off are not sleeping because the poor are awake. Please analyze that statement. Thank you.
Okay, sir. You can identify your name, please.
Good evening, everyone. Our mayor, CLR. The sister just spoke about the drugs. Naturena is drug infested. We don't know who's supplying them. We might have an idea, but because we've got illegal foreigners that are in our area who owns plaza shops, there are rumors that they're also selling drugs. So I believe that if we can get rid of them, we'll be able to work out exactly who's selling drugs in our area and eradicate that problem. So can you please organize whoever who's concerned to come and check the plaza shops if they comply and if they are legal or illegal. Before silanda insizwa zaseNatal zosolvela nathi Naturena. Abala Naturena siyakhuluma grouping, you always there. We talk about such things, but no action happens basically. So I believe that if you stand up as our CLR, usilwele kayiwani senze sure ukuthi amaPakistani aphume lana. We've got our own people who can run these plaza shops. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor. Mayor, renali problem ya deforestation, Naturena. Deforestation. The word Naturena, it was named after nature. I've been living here since from 1996. Before about 26, 19. Kona Malta, Liandinek. Sona litzela informal. Echoanang Naturena, Li Freedom Park. There is a felt there, a nature reserve. Nernali di Porfolomol, all sorts of kinds of beds. We don't have those beds anymore. There are people who have squatted there, sitting there. I don't know what is their intentions. It's probably to finish all those trees so that we can have another mountain view there. Kikopare address. Kikopile ko councillor ya rona mo le kare kikopare further right. Re tla tsamaya lo batla funding to re-fence that area. Kona Malta and Yandinek ko dimo kwa. Most citizens ba mo le ke di senior citizens ba sa sebetsa se le bonkgono. Hona le motho mo lo rekileng ko plotting ko farmong o bula tavern. A ke tsebe o bulela bo mambo mme ba rona di tavern. A re batle di tavern. We could do so many things. Ki kentse proposal ko ntate Tobile ya farming. Ha ke re ke batla tšhelete ko yena. Ki tse we'll see to it. Ba re fe right because ne re sa batla ho tlola molao. Maybe ho ba betere ha re iketsetsa dintho. I can see why the citizens undermine the rights tsa rona. It's right behind our houses. But vale ba ko mekhukhung ba tloga a ke batle hore ke batho bale because those are our brothers and sisters. We wanted to ring-fence that area, preserve that nature. Ke a kopa Seplief. It's a small ask. Ha re batle tšhelete, we don't want any funding. As the youth, we will see to it, or how do we look after that area? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Mayor, one point that I would like to raise, ke gore maybe the 2 weeks timeline, between us being built, is it a realistic? Maybe please look into it, 2 weeks timeline, is it realistic? Oren Tobile? No, you are saying that end of the month we can expect to be built. And I am saying 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks timeline? Your timelines, are they realistic? That's point number one. The other point that I would like to say, Tobile, we do not have community meetings. What are you reporting on our behalf? What reports are you taking to the council on our behalf? Maybe meetings are happening somewhere, but in this section where we are, there are no meetings. And public participation is one of our rights, and therefore you are limiting us. Mr. Mayor, today you are here. How are we going to hold you accountable for all the commitments and all the promises that you are giving us today? We are noting them. One of the other one is the consumption that we will be charged come month end. How am I charged if my house from 350 it went to 550, from 550 it went to 1.3, and then from 1.3 it went to 1.8? How then am I going to be charged? Because I think also the issue that the city people will be here for 2 weeks. There are some people by retail. So obviously, when would people have time to come and address their personal issues if it's just for 2 weeks? I'm also saying maybe those, or what would be their starting and ending time, so that people maybe ba mathe ba ya mosebetsing, or o sebetsang ko retail, if I can a certain time a go etsa their things, their arrangements. So how is that going to be dealt? But if you're going to charge us, how, when our houses parachuted from nowhere to a certain amount, and then I understand you when you are saying that you will send people. And also, our people, sometimes they fail us, because these are the people that we know who are supposed to be coming to evaluate our houses. But now, they do not. Some employees of government are not doing what they're paid to do. So that is also compromising. We are where we are. We shouldn't even be here.
Last one, thank you.
Evening, everyone. Mayor, I'm speaking based on sports and recreation. Because I've noticed that you didn't touch on it. And it's a big thing. And hearing the lady actually at Abu before me saying, the drug issue, it's a big thing. I've been staying here in Churena for over 20 years as well. I even bought a house here in Churena. My parents still stay here. Since my day of schooling, there have never been a sports field most monitoring. And that's a fact. Leona no, I'm raising a 16-year-old. Leona no, has one and two. Earlier on, when you entered, actually, our kids mona, they bachimela momo school instead. They still make the banyana bachimela wana more for netball. Basically, Sundays, every Sundays, there is Naturena soccer league that we created amongst ourselves. Which is, you can imagine, Naturena is so small, but the facilities starting at you. We already have about 10 teams participating every Sunday. That's participating. And we don't have a field. We created a field there. We are trying to get probably, we've been engaging the councillor about can they help us in terms of making fields, in terms of making the netball fields and everything. But the process, I think, I slow also. We're not sure. So, you are going to intervene in terms of making the priority at clinic. Can you make the priority as well to be sports and recreation center? And it's going to be possible and happen by next year. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, sir. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we've now concluded with the part about your questions. I think we've given a fair amount of people to raise their concerns and their issues. Maybe just perhaps there's the last points that Mayor wants to make, or you want to make additional. Thank you. Satipawa.
Mama are the meters at City Power, they are chowing electricity too fast. They were replaced. City Power in a laboratory. Members, Mpagati, if you feel your meter is running too fast, we can apply for a meter test. We bring it in, we test it, we give you a calibration certificate to satisfy yourself. And if you feel it is not true, you are also allowed and eligible to approach NERSA and then to lodge your complaint. And NERSA Leona, it will also hold us accountable. The meters are now, they are SABS approved, South African Bureau of Standard approved. And everything else that we do it within the ambit of the law. But yes, if you believe it's too fast, please come forward. Then we will subject it to the laboratory test, and then we will give that certificate to prove that this is what you are saying. It was wrong. If you find that we are wrong, we'll rectify and we'll give you the right meter. But if you find that the meter is right, we'll also tell you the truth that this is right with the certificate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to call upon the revenue services just to outline how they're going to deal with the billing and questions that you've posed. Thank you.
Good afternoon, residents. Thank you very much, Program Director, to the Executive Mayor. All protocol observed. My name is Andile and my surname is Bafo. I'm from the Revenue Department. Just to explain, when we prepare for an open day, we are going to bring all the departments with regards to all the services, the 5 services that we are billing: water, sewer, electricity, rates, and refuse. We are going to bring all the departments in one space so that you can be able to have an opportunity to come and present all your billing queries to us so that we can resolve them on the day. Even those who are saying we are not receiving statements, then we can be able to resolve those matters and give you more information on where you can be able to register and have on your phone, you can be able to download your statement, which is, it's a service that is called Joburg. You can be able to download that app at any time. You can go to that app and receive your own statements at any time. So when we are doing an open day, we are going to start from 7:30, which is, it's going to be a Saturday. So we are saying those who are not working or who are available on the day. We are going to start at 7:30 and then we are going to close the gates at 4 o'clock to allow those who are still going to work and still come back to find us helping you on the open day. There are people who are saying, I've got a burning issue with the billing. You don't have to wait for the billing for the open day. My office is at City Power Reuven. You can go straight and ask for Andy Lebafu. We can sort your matter immediately. Thank you very much, Councillor.
Thank you. MMC will now address some of the other issues. Thank you, MMC.
Yeah, I'm from the city of very short people. Okay, no, thank you very much. I hope Nyangborna. Kamalamu Eunice Mkrina, MMC responsible for development planning in the city of Johannesburg. I'm responsible for the rezoning of the library. As I was driving, coming this side, I had a conversation with our colleagues from ComDev. I wanted to understand whether the province handed over that library to them as the seat. For obvious reasons that I knew that it will be raised, the issue yokuthi abantu abaqashiwe abobani baqashwe njani. But it's a conversation that we'll continue to have with them. Especially the matter yokuthi people from this area tshwantse ba shebelwe le bona. I think we'll raise that with them. It's a different department, it's ComDev. Thank you very much. I think the other issue that I wanted to raise, it's on the, I think Oslucia spoke about passage in a link stream, a link problematic. What we'll do, we'll come and do an oversight Mokhoyone, and see how it affects the neighboring stands, then see what we can do after that. But we'll come. Yes, I can have your numbers, it's okay. But we'll come through the ward councillor. The other spaces that have been identified in the area, the ward councillor was just whispering to me that they will be addressed, and the intention is for us to host different NGOs, because there's an outcry in the area of different NGOs who want space. So we might have to host different NGOs, but it's an engagement that we will have to have with yourselves, Leah and Council, so that we arrive to a decision that is fair to all of us. So it's a discussion that we must still have. That is regarding other spaces. Also, when bearing in mind that you have raised an issue of multi-purpose centers around the area, especially for those that are still young and want to enter into different activities. So we'll address that, I think, together with yourselves on that one as well. I think most of the issues, EM, was to say this is what we want, this is what we think should happen, and I think we're considering that. So I think, yeah, those were the few things that I thought I should respond to. And thank you very much. Oh, the issue of the demarcation, I know that part of this ward 119 goes to Ward 124, ne? Okay, the demarcation is not yet finalized, but as soon as we reach the time to announce to our communities, you will be called to a meeting and you will be told, Uguti, what is the way forward? So we will be responding to that. I know many areas are affected with demarcations, and it is in our, it's our role to come back to you and indicate in terms of how you will be affected. But there are areas where they are not affected at all. But for now, you are residents of Ward 119. That's where you belong until there are further, there's further information around the issue of the demarcation. Thank you very much, RD. Thanks.
Thank you, MMC, for that. This is our last response. Councillor, over to you, and you can do the vote of thanks as well.
No thanks, RD and the mayor. One, I want to respond to this one, MMC. What 119 remains as it is. 119 is not affected. They only added a portion in what 119, which is between N1 and N12 to what 119. Otherwise, what 119 remains as it is. Yesterday, we've met both with the Marcation Board and the IEC that have confirmed what 119 remains as it is. So, Mam Lucia, we're in the public domain now, meeting. I'm confirming it. 119 is as it is. I achieved. Outside my Mratu. Another one which I was requested, Mayor. Mam Rebecca, with your team, the clinic committee. Mam Rebecca. Mayor, when we took office in 2021, we've said it's in our mandate to say we want to have a clinic in Naturen. We started off with a mobile clinic at the pass, which is giving us quite a number of problems, as it was raised here. Mayor, we under the pass, man. To say under the pass. Or a mayor, as you are preparing your speech towards the State of the City address, we would want you to mention, this clinic that you have said it here, Churena, to say, we fire the State of the City address, engage around it. Tarapansi and Majoro, think about it, because Churena is one of the areas where Abu Mam Rebecca and Abu Mama, they moved from here to Freedom Park Clinic. That is overpopulated. From Freedom Park to Mountain View, Daveland, Slovo Park. So that clinic is very small and it's overpopulated. We have Mom Rebecca who sits here every Thursday and Friday and wait for the bus. Sometimes the bus does not even come and report around 7 in the morning and say we are not coming. So it's really a challenge for senior citizens that are in Naturen. Thanks, Mom Rebecca. Mayor, also around questions that were brought to ourselves in regards to public meetings. We have once last called a public meeting in 2025, September, Mam Lucia. In that meeting, my office and Joburg Water, we were astonished apart. Because many of the issues which were raised in that meeting were concerning the executive. We then had to sit down and say, how do we then call a meeting in Naturena whereby we'll find ourselves fighting with residents of Naturena? We then started engagements with the office of the mayor to say we need to go back to Naturena so that at least even ourselves we are found servicing Naturena, because now we cannot call any public meeting in Naturena. Because as to when we are calling a public meeting, they will say the office of the mayor Kwamanda made these promises and we have written a memorandum. Till date, it has never been responded to. So what we want to say today, Mayor, because we account to ourselves and MMC regional manager to say, we are now going back to public meetings. These public meetings must then assist us to also see mayor accountable. To say what has the mayor promised to the community, we'll be reporting to these public meetings, residents. Mayor has also said which is bringing high impact to Naturen. They will be within maybe the next 2, but the office will communicate with Bazobaninila. We have also requested to City Power, Ndate Charles, CEO, we have been engaging with yourself to say we want at least a program that at least now a sizable number of residents in Naturena, they are venting. It then called it, I think now you can then say, councillor can commit this project, the street lights. You said we must give you a certain number. Now I'm thinking now we've gave you that number to say now we can then commission a project, the entire street lights in Naturena. So we'll just come up with a date and say, when are we launching this project? So residents, I'm trying to bring them on board or at least let them commit. What was promised saying is we're engaging with them, because when we do not come to public meetings, it's not that we are not engaging with them. We are engaging with them and there are promises that have been made to ourselves and yourselves. So, Babu Padiachi, as we close this meeting, we would want to thank members of this community in Churena, the executive that's here, Mayor, to give us an audience, and the MMC, the senior executives that are here. And while we have that open day, Mayor, the problem I see Amalona Mabatini Uti residents do not come to these open days. The officials that are servicing the residents on the day about Mamela Bantu Beitu. The last time the last open day which was called by the then MMC mayor Kwamanda, was here most of the senior citizens in Bakala. Because of the high blood, the manner in which the official that was working there or engaging with her, by the way, become pendulum corn. That official from Joburg Quarter, I'm requesting that senior management in Joburg Quarter, please engage with these officials as to when they service our senior citizens. So we are requesting that, Mayor. Residents, besicela Mama Rebecca, as we close this meeting, siphinde futhi ivayini ngomthandazo ubaba sonke isiphakameni, ubaba khumula igcoko, then you lead us with a prayer. And while we are standing up, on the one the youth engapha ngase Malta, I do not want to expose the gentleman here, but I would want you, the youth, ihlangane naye, because I've met with him and then I was in good faith. He's also a resident in Naturena and he's also young as yourselves. I see a pensioner. He's young as yourself, so we can meet up naye. Also share your ideas. Then you can also see how can he then assist yourself. I don't know if you ofuna babulise kuphela or ngababulise. Ungavela nje bakubona ukuthi ubani umuntu obathi ophethe ithaveni lapha. O sharp. Mam Rebecca asivale meeting.
Kantle le go senya nako ke se se go le lata re tle re kgone go tsama. Father, in the name of Jesus, the name of the Father and the Son, the name of the Holy Spirit, ntate re a leboga. Re itse ha re thoma le wena, re a feleletsa jwale re a kwala. Re santsene re tlaya mahaeng a rona le mosebetsi e metle e diragetseng tsatsi la kajeko le ka mo re kileng ra bua ka teng ra lokisa dintho tsa rona. I think everything is going to be in order right now. Ka lebitso la Jesu Kriste Nazareth, we thank you very much, my Father. Bao ba tlayang ba ya hae ba tsamaye hantle modimo wa ka tseleng mo ba tla ba tsamaya teng. The drivers ba drive hantle modimo wa ka go fitlha malapeng a bona. Ka lebitso la ntate la morala moya o halalela. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, the fellowship and the Holy Spirit be with us all and forevermore. Amen.